time for another Elsie's Little Pickles, the pickle pod for the people. Coming to you on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, and this
the
show...
color of my heart.
Yeah, black is your little fucking heart. We are joined again, fortunately, by Colton, your nephew, my son, our political guru.
You're going to hear a lot of me coming up with the holiday season.
Yeah, I know, it's awesome.
Season.
Yeah, we love having you as a guest on the show because obviously you bring a lot to it. But this one's going to be a little bit different. We will talk a little bit about politics, but that's not going to be the central theme of this particular podcast. What I want to talk about,
we could all use a break from it.
Yeah, I mean, look, Thanksgiving.
When you think you can get a break, something happens.
Yeah, and they pull you back in.
You sons of bitches.
The reason why I wanted to do something a little bit different on that is, all right, first off, it's no surprise that to anyone here or any of our faithful listeners that Thanksgiving is, in my opinion, all right, so the two top holidays, 1 and 2, do you know what the two top holidays are?
Halloween and Thanksgiving.
No.
Oh, okay.
Number 1, anyone? Christmas. Number 2, anyone? Huh? No?
Halloween.
No.
Well, in terms of money, yes.
No, I'm talking about Americans' preferred holidays.
Oh,
Number 1 is Christmas.
4th of July.
No. Number 1 is
Really?
Christmas. Number 1 is Christmas. Number 2 is Thanksgiving. Number 3 is Halloween, which shows you how off base I am when it comes to the general consensus of the American people, because my 2 least favorite holidays are Christmas and Thanksgiving, and it would be really a toss-up between which one I fucking can't stand more. However, with that being said, people do love them, right? And I think that they love them because it's easy. It's tradition. You just do it. There's a lot of interesting facts about Thanksgiving. One of the ones that I think has surprised me maybe the most is the fact that every year for Thanksgiving, Americans eat around 46 million turkeys on Thanksgiving Day. Now, that blew me away. I'm not going to lie to you. That blew me away. That really surprised me in a way. 46 million, right? I mean, million.
That's a lot of turkey meat, which
But
I am not one of them.
Here's the interesting thing. Most Americans don't like turkey. The vast majority of people that are eating the 46 million turkeys every year are doing it because it's part of tradition, not because they actually enjoy eating turkey. So those
also,
are
the amount of house fires that get started because people try to fry turkey.
Oh yeah. Well,
it's incredible.
So you get a lot of house fires on Thanksgiving from people trying to fry turkey. But do you know what the number one job is on Black Friday? Like the people, the service that gets called the most?
Oh, I know the answer to this.
Do you?
Probably an ambulance, if I had to guess.
No, go.
A plumber.
You got it. It's a plumber. It's a plumber. And for
sometimes you just gotta drop a dukester.
They call it Brown Friday because it's their busiest day of the year.
What happened? I just passed a butterball.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot of toilet problems, but really where the biggest issues are is in disposals, whether it's turkey bones getting caught in them or silverware jacking them up and garbage disposals getting just destroyed.
Annoying ants that get caught in them.
Yeah.
Wait, was that out loud?
Yeah, that was out loud. We wish we could have put Auntie in one. So that's kind of where I'm interested in tradition. I'm interested in things that we do, not necessarily because we want to do them or we even like doing them, but it's because we can just kind of take our brain out for a day. Like Wednesday's called Black Wednesday. And depending on where you go in the country, I think some bars call it Blackout Wednesday because people drinking so much. It's one of
we tend to call it amateur night.
Yeah, exactly. But the Wednesday before Thanksgiving is one of the booziest days of the year. It is very much in contention.
Second only to Thanksgiving itself. You get the most drunk driving on Thanksgiving.
No. You get it actually on the night before. And then the second largest day in the, or, in like the Christmas, from let's call it from Halloween to New Year's, your most drunk driving happens on Black Wednesday and on New Year's Eve.
Fair enough. I thought the number one was Thanksgiving Day, just because people are traveling everywhere. I'll have a
That's
drink
up there. No, it's up there.
Yeah.
It's just not in the first 2 or 3.
I'll have a drink or 4 with dinner and then drive home. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. And
I'm just a lot of gravy.
Yeah, don't worry. It's just my family in the car. I've had more drinks.
That would be Steve.
Yeah, that would be me. I got this. Don't worry, I got this.
Hey, I'm still here, so it's okay.
Yeah, it worked out. It worked out in the end. But the thing is like I just despise the holiday. I don't want anything to do with it. But I am fascinated by the idea of tradition. I'm fascinated by the idea of doing shit that you really don't want to do, but you do it anyway because that's just how it's done. And, to go back to a few other things that are just interesting facts, okay? Not every president, before it became a national holiday, not every president recognized Thanksgiving. Thomas Jefferson was the first president to refuse to declare a Thanksgiving proclamation, which is something they had to do every year because it was not a national holiday. Since previous presidents had declared Thanksgiving to be a day of fasting, prayer, and gratitude, Jefferson felt the holiday inappropriately crossed the boundary of separating church and state, which may be one of the top reasons I fucking love Jefferson. Not only is he a stickler on the separation of church and state like I am, but more importantly, fuck Thanksgiving. Like, I love the fact that he was like, you know what? If you want to eat a turkey, okay, fine, but I'm not going to call it a holiday.
Well, I mean, to be fair, so I think this is where the church and state kind of issue is for Jefferson, is that basically every major religion has some sort of fasting built into their system, and that's where it came from. Because originally, like you were saying, Thanksgiving was a day to fast,
right?
And then you break it with a feast,
right? Well, I mean, look, you can get into all the details about the religious aspects of Thanksgiving. That's really not where I'm going. Where I'm going is I just love the fact that Jefferson was like, fuck you. No, not happening. And, I get it. I get why some people like it. I don't want to be around family because extended family is always just more than I can bear, especially during an election year.
Yeah,
like there's no filter when it comes to family, and I just don't want to participate. I don't want to be around it. I don't want to have my dinner ruined because you're a fucking political idiot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't fuck with my pumpkin pie. Right?
Just well, I mean, more than that, they're just a political toddler. Like,
yeah. So when you get into that aspect of it, I feel
that should be a song. Don't fuck with my pumpkin pie.
Don't fuck with my pumpkin pie.
Don't fuck with my pumpkin pie.
Apparently, according to the National Pie Institute, pumpkin pie. The yes, I know it's ridiculous that there's actually a National Pie Institute, but. Go on. I know you're chomping at the bit, Kiefer.
The rules and regulations of pie.
Well, they did a survey. They did a poll because they wanted to put to rest what was the best pie for Thanksgiving. And the battle had been going on for years between apple and pumpkin. Okay? This is a long, drawn-out fight.
Nothing more American than apple pie, but I swear to God, if you don't say pumpkin pie won.
No, it got second as the favorite pie.
Apple pie.
I'm moving to Canada.
I know, it's bullshit, right? It's bullshit. Fuck the Pie Institute. And
apple
I'll go
pie
a step.
It's not American. It's actually French.
Well, fuck France is a fake country with a fake language, so I don't trust them.
It's not how
I
you say
surrender.
anything in French. It's the way you say it.
Yes.
It's the fact that they put every vowel and the sometimes vowels into every word, but you don't pronounce any of them.
Parlez-vous français?
Oui. But here was
I
what
go oui.
I
with
go
my
oui, oui.
pee-pee.
Here's where I found it interesting is that we actually, surprisingly, and you didn't really know this because I never forced you to Thanksgiving with any of my side of the family ever. I always let you go with mom's side. But there was for years the big great debate on the pies, but it wasn't apple. It wasn't apple in our house. No. It was Elsie, the namesake of this podcast. She would make lemon meringue.
Yep.
And our aunt would make the pumpkin pie. Now, I'll give it to her for all the things that I dislike about our aunt, and for as much as I fucking hated her, she could make a pretty good fucking pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
So I was always like just mowing as a kid. I'd eat half a fucking pumpkin pie. She would make two because she knew that I could probably polish off one by myself, and if I didn't polish it off between me and Kiefer, we would. Mm-hmm. And no one would get any pumpkin pie. Our mom, Elsie, she'd get pissed because we wouldn't touch that fucking lemon meringue.
Well,
you would.
Okay, lemon meringue is good. Lemon meringue is good, but it's not. I don't know if it qualifies as a Thanksgiving.
I didn't think it did.
Meringue can make or break a lemon meringue pie, and I love a good lemon meringue pie. But growing up, there was just something wrong about meringue. I don't like marshmallow.
Yeah.
So that's probably feeds into my dislike of meringue.
So I remember though, like it's interesting because my views on specifically, just drink it out of the bottle there, kiddo. Kiefer, what do you got? What are you drinking?
I am sipping on Ardbeg Korvreken.
We were just talking about that. Me and Colton were just talking about that. I said that was the one to go with, and don't waste his time with little beastie.
Wee beastie.
Or wee beastie.
I've got a bottle of wee beastie.
I don't know if either of you know this, but so Ashley, my girlfriend, likes to keep a hamster around. And this most recent one, we had for like 2 days.
I was going to say, hold on a second. You might want to preface where this story's going.
Yeah, well, all I'm saying
is not a Richard Gere moment.
Yeah, I was going to say Richard Gere may or may not be involved. So,
Richard Gere and a toilet paper roll.
That fucking poor bastard is never running away from that one.
Nope. But anyway, we had this rodent running around in our spare bedroom for a couple of days, and she was like, "Oh, help me name it, And I was like, "I dub thee wee beastie."
There you go. Is that
Scottish
the name?
For small animal or insect?
And did it stick? Is that wee beastie now?
Yeah, it's wee beastie.
I love it. So I wanted to kind of think about this from the perspective of when we were kids, specifically to try to give Colton the flavor of it. When we were kids, the holidays were great up until we were about 10, 12 years old. And then something fucking happened in the family and it all turned to shit. And I don't even know what that was.
Went through puberty. That's what happened.
It's probably the case because I started getting lippy right around that time. And I don't know if it was just me, but it felt like things got different because there was a time when, we whether it was at our aunt's house or whether it was at our house, and then we were always reversed, right? So if we had Thanksgiving, Christmas was at our aunt's, and if she had Thanksgiving, Christmas was at our house. And I always preferred Christmas at our house. I didn't like Christmas at her house. I didn't mind.
Really?
I preferred Thanksgiving at Auntie's house. And the reason I did was because they would do it in the front room, right? So they would have, a couple of fold-out tables, 8-foot fold-out tables, and everything was like condensed and like we were all together and it was like we were very small space, but it still felt like there was plenty of room, even though there was, a bunch of us there.
Right, but you put a tree in the mix, then
No, the tree hadn't gone up yet. The tree would go up at our aunt's house. The tree would go up.
No, I'm saying
after.
for Christmas.
Oh, yeah. For Christmas, it was a different thing. But we would do that, and inevitably, there would be like wine glasses that had Jello, red, like cherry. Was it cherry or strawberry? I don't remember. It was strawberry jelly or Jello with walnuts in it or some kind of nut. I think it was walnuts, and a shit ton of whipped cream. And that was like your little dessert, because the big desserts were the pies and the stuff that were coming after. So you get done eating your meal. The wine glasses filled with Jello and whipped cream would come out. That was like your little sweet. And then the kids had to fuck off so they could tear everything down and clean everything up.
Kid.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it boiled down to, right? So that's when we would go fuck off and do whatever we were doing. Once everything was cleaned up, though, then we would all come back out to the main area. And in that front room of your of Auntie's, they would start breaking out the newspapers and the catalogs, and whether it was a Sears catalogs, whatever, right?
Yeah, circle what you want for Christmas.
Either circle it or cut it out and put it on tape it to a piece of paper. That was the fucking fun part. That was the fun part.
Especially the lingerie section.
That was where I was going.
Who got a magazine from the head shop? I'm loving it.
But that was what was fun, right? Well, that's what, like there was this
idea. Keep looking at Victoria's Secret. What's going on over there?
There was this level of excitement, but there was also, and we didn't always do it on Thanksgiving, but we would do it at least in between Thanksgiving and Christmas. There would be another time we would get together where we would make popcorn balls. We would string popcorn. We would do taffy. We would do all these kinds of things, and it was really kind of fucking cool and fun. Like Mom and Auntie really kind of, they got into the Christmas spirit, and they would bring us in whether we wanted to or not. Like if they were making cookies, we were making cookies. If they were making taffy, we were making taffy. It didn't matter. If it was chocolate, we were all doing it. And it had this very festive kind of feel to it. And I don't know, like I said, something changed. And you're right, it could have been just me getting older and going through puberty, but this was more like when I was like 10. So I don't want to credit that. It just, something changed and everything got shitty. And then it became Groundhog Day. And every fucking holiday was exactly the same as the last holiday, right down to, if we were out on Christmas Day having Chinese dinner and then going to a movie, at some point, our mom would talk to our aunt, and she would talk her into getting some plum wine, and 5 minutes later, they were both complaining how they were all hot and sweaty from drinking the wine.
Oh,
is it warm in here?
So warm in here.
It's so goddamn warm.
I've got the vapor.
I got the vapor. Exactly. So I don't know. Like I said, for me specifically, Thanksgiving soured from when I was like 10 years old moving forward. I just never wanted to be a part of it. Kiefer, he always dug it. You always dug Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I dig holidays.
I know you do. And I
Even
don't
the bad
get it.
stuff.
I don't get it. How we're so
Teach me your ways.
Yeah,
it's about making memories, even with people you don't always agree with.
God, you're so positive. You're so.
I try to be.
You're such. I don't get it. They're all assholes. You ever think that you don't see?
Yeah, but they were my assholes.
Do you ever think though? Do you ever think that like the relatives that you only see at the holidays, there might be a fucking reason? Yeah, because they're fucking assholes. No one wants to talk to them. But that time of the year comes and it's like, well, it's tradition. We gotta do it. Invite the fucking. No one wants them there. No one. All right, hit me with a news story.
Oh, a news story. Do you want something interesting or really interesting?
Oh, let's go for really interesting.
Well, apparently, a prominent Democratic New York State senator has floated the proposition that her state and its northeastern neighbors might secede from the United States to join Canada.
Sure. New York's gonna secede.
Well, it's New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Vermont.
And are they unified in this, or did New York just decide to speak for the whole Northeast?
New York did speak, however, she says that they have been talking in this news story.
They want to be Diet America, America Light.
It's never going to happen.
They want to be the southeastern province of Canada.
It's never going to happen.
For reference, you never know. You never know.
Let Mexico invade Texas and take it back, I should say, and maybe also California, and then we can talk about New York and the Northeast.
It's not. That's what I'm saying. It's as ridiculous as that.
Do you know how much New York gives to just the state of New York gives to the United States government?
Oh, it's huge.
Probably a good 10 to 15% of the GDP.
$362 billion a year. They receive from the government $85 billion for federal funding.
Yeah, and what's funny is you'll actually see that. I wish I had the map up. I could show you, but there's a map that I've seen where you can see exactly where the most GDP comes from within the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And who would have guessed? It's all of the major cities, and everything outside of that is draining more than they're contributing.
Yeah, exactly. All the red areas on the map suck the money out. All the blue areas on the map put the money in. And this is why I've said, good luck, Chuck, with your fucking secession, whether it's Texas, and I don't give a shit who it is, Democrat or Republican. It ain't going to fucking happen. I've gotten to the point
where I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah, you know what? I am too. That's why, like now that we have elected a convicted criminal.
He was right. We're not going to have a country anymore.
No, that may be the case, but I'm to the point where it's like, oh, this is what you say you want. You want cheaper eggs, and you don't understand what tariffs mean. Okay, let's do that. Okay, you voted for it. Fuck around and find out. And oh, you didn't know that Obamacare and the Affordable Health Care Act were the same thing. Oh, okay. Well, guess what? You voted against Obamacare, but fucked around and found out that was the Affordable Health Care Act, and that's what you're on. And now because you voted against it, you're going to lose your coverage. You're going to lose all of this shit. You're going to
I think it's high time America gets Europed.
And that's what's happening.
I think it's high time America gets Europed. And I'm talking like, okay, Michigan and Ohio need to figure out where the capital is, and Indiana, but also it's not going to be in Indiana.
No.
And we're one state, and then Texas is big enough they can be their own nation state, and then so on and so forth.
Yeah, but look how it worked out, how well it worked out for Europe. I mean, not so fucking great.
The whole tariff thing, and it reminds me of once upon a time, the United States was subjected to a 3% tariff from the UK on tea.
Yep.
3% tariff.
Now, I don't know if you've heard this, but Mexico, Canada, and China make up 45% of our trade.
Correct.
And we're going to put a 25 to 35% tariff on them starting. And then when the president of Mexico is not able to just press a button that says this button will stop all immigration to the United States and cartel activity, when she doesn't have that button, price is going to go up.
She had a couple of words for criminal Trump.
El Trumpo?
Serum.
That's what we should call him from now on.
El Trumpo.
El Trumpo instead of El Chapo.
Trumpo.
El Trumpo.
Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum hit back hard at Donald Trump, otherwise known as El Trumpo, with a dire warning after he announced his disastrous tariffs. And she broke it down how idiotic his idea is.
Good.
Well, doesn't that also go against what he just in his first term, what he renegotiated with NAFTA?
Yeah.
Like he's just going against what he already did. The fuck? You negotiated that deal thinking you were the king shit, and now you're saying, I don't like that.
Yeah, the USMCA.
Yeah.
I quote, 70% of the illegal weapons seized from criminals in Mexico come from your country. We do not produce these weapons, nor do we consume synthetic drugs.
She ain't lying.
Nah, they only got the real shit down there.
Exactly. Tragically,
well, they got a hookup with the cartel. They know how to get the good shit. Yeah.
They got the real shit.
Tragically, it is in our country that lives are lost to the violence resulting from meeting the drug demands in yours.
Good for her.
One tariff will allow another, and so on, until we put our common businesses at risk. I am convinced that North America's economic strength lies in maintaining our trade partnership. This allows us to remain competitive against other economic blocs.
That's the fact, because when you've got 3 countries all wrapped up in North America, but you got 3 countries that are all pretty powerhouse level when it comes to manufacturing and business, together we're stronger and we can fight against China.
I have 2 solutions that I would like to put forward. First of all, if we want to end the potency and power of the cartels in Mexico or elsewhere, end drug prohibition.
It's just that simple.
The war on drugs has been a waste of time and money. It has ruined people's lives.
It doesn't work.
It has costed us at this point probably in the trillions.
Yeah, I mean
it's a waste of time. It's literally just a method to get free slave labor in prisons.
Exactly. And we won't need that anymore. We won't need that free. This is why we need to legalize drugs now, because we won't need that free slave labor that we currently have in prison, because it's going to be filled with illegal immigrants that came across the border. And so we could just use them, right? Oh, that's a bad idea too. Oh, maybe the whole fucking prison system needs to be rethought, because when you make it a for-profit business,
that's the problem.
Bad stuff happens.
Have you seen Where Do We Invade Next by Michael Moore?
Yeah.
No.
Yes. Oh, dude, you got to see that one.
Gotta see this.
You have got to see that one. You'll love it.
I sometimes have problems with Michael Moore.
I have a lot of problems with Michael Moore. But that was great.
This particular film was phenomenal. And he spoke to Portugal's Surgeon General.
Okay.
And the Surgeon General had basically a message for the United States, which was, what's wrong with you? Legalize everything. Don't penalize drug use. It's a problem. These people need help.
Yeah, treat it as an illness, but
yes.
Also, it's none of your business if someone, as long as they're not hurting anyone else, as long as they're not threatening anyone else, you have no right to tell, crackhead John that he can't get his fix.
Well, the argument that they always bring forward is it does hurt other people. It hurts the family of the person who's addicted. It hurts.
I'm sure it does,
and
but
that's not our fucking problem. That's not our problem. That's the family's problem.
When it comes to family, I had a boss back in Texas who was Mexican, and he brought up a very painful point, and it has always stuck with me. How many homeless Mexicans do you see?
You don't, really.
You don't, because family is family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, it's kind of that simple. You know what I mean? It really is kind of that simple. Over the years,
we really like to cut off our family members in this country.
Well, but it's not even that. It's circumstance in a situation where I get it. You have somebody in your family that's addicted, and now maybe they're trying to steal your shit and trying to, cause.
Well, that's an actual harm.
That's an actual harm, right?
That's an actual harm.
You can actually handle that as a family member. You know, you can make tough decisions. You can say we're doing an intervention. I mean, like there's ways to handle that. The problem that we have more than anything, like in my opinion at least, anytime we've seen something legalized, yes, you have your ups and downs with it. You have people adjusting to the fact that now that they can do this, just like when, you know, with prohibition, as I've always said, I mean, can you remember a time, Colton, in your life where I did not say prohibition in every way, shape, and form is fucked?
No, I mean, just across the board, because when you just ban something, this is a problem, let's just ban it. That doesn't stop that behavior.
No.
All it does is push it underground. It makes it less safe. It makes it violent. It makes it so that criminal organizations can monopolize that behavior.
It's the same thing with sex workers. It's the same thing, you know what I mean, like across the board. We've discussed this in, you know, briefly, but if you don't want sex trade, you know, if you don't want illegal sex trade going on, legalize it, monitor it, regulate it, and watch how, just like in other countries, you know, if you have that red light district and they're really focused on making sure that anyone who's a sex worker is getting tested once or twice a week, they're in a safe environment, there's no pimps, it's, you know, a contract, everyone knows what you know, the deal is as far as the pay and who gets what and how much goes to the house.
Can organize.
They can organize, they can unionize. It's the same thing. It's the same fucking thing. Let people do what people want to do. Just regulate it. You know what I mean? Like, it's that fucking simple. It really is. When you're talking, the big issue is fentanyl right now. That's where Trump is got his mind when he's talking to Mexico. Okay, well,
when most of it comes over normal ports, either from China, at least precursors from China, or in the pockets and suitcases of American citizens.
Exactly.
80% of it comes from American citizens.
Well, and here's the biggest problem is that fentanyl is landing in multiple drugs, but specifically it's landing in cocaine. Clearly, cocaine is something we like in this country. Okay.
I recently found out, apparently Traverse City is the #1 consumer of cocaine in the country.
I don't doubt that, because that's where all the tech brothers or tech bros went during the pandemic. You had a lot of tech people move to Traverse City.
Which is hysterical, because the only people, whenever I've been up there, the only people I see are like 80 or my age with a kid.
Yeah, but those 80-year-olds are hopped up on the devil's dandruff. I'll tell you that honestly. Right now.
Mars, get in the bedroom.
God damn it, I got a Viagra and I've done 2 rails. Let's go, baby. It's going to be a long night. We're going to pound that gina. I just pictured Grandpa throwing out a hip.
Oh, boy.
Hopped up on the devil's dandruff. Oh, shit. Speaking of drugs, what are the 3 top drinks for Thanksgiving? Do you know? Anyone?
Jaeger bomb.
No. No.
I would have to say eggnog.
No, I'm talking about alcoholic drinks.
I would
eggnog is an alcoholic.
It can be, but not how most people drink it nowadays. Most people don't drink it with alcohol.
I would guess that the top 3 would be somewhere in the range of red wine, domestic beer, and depending on the family, maybe some whiskey.
You are right across the board, Colton.
All right.
Yeah, really. It's wine, beer, and whiskey in that order. And they say that on average, the average person enjoys 2.7 drinks on Thanksgiving, which is more than double the usual amount on a regular day.
Those are rookie numbers.
Those are very rookie numbers. I've done twice that just getting ready for the pod. Now, here's something else that people don't realize. Thanksgiving is also known as a National Day of Mourning. Did you know that?
I did not.
did not know that.
Yeah, it's one of the most significant Thanksgiving facts is that for many Native Americans, particularly the
Yep.
Wampanoag tribe, I know I butchered that, but that's the best.
The Wampanoag?
Wampanoag tribe. No, I can't do that to the fuck. I can't do it to them. Wampanoag tribe. The holiday is not a
I think
celebration.
it's pronounced Wampanoag.
Okay, Wampanoag. I'll go with that. It's a not
I
a
just wanted
celebration.
you to struggle.
Yeah, well, like you don't do that to me all the fucking time, you cock. National Day of Mourning for them. The holiday serves as a reminder of the painful legacy of European colonization, which brought immense hardship and loss to their people. It's a day to honor and remember the lives lost and the suffering endured by indigenous communities throughout history.
That actually makes a lot of sense because, I've mentioned this at least once or twice to you, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
We really, really like myths in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Meth?
We really like myths because we're not cultured enough and we haven't been around long enough as white Americans to actually have real history.
Yeah, we've only got 250 years. And that's one of the things, not to interrupt you, but one of the things that really bummed me out the most about Trump winning wasn't even that he was going to be president. It was that he was going to be president when we had our 250th anniversary as a country, as a nation. And that bothers me because I know he's going to fucking roll out North Korean style and Russian style parade type, or Chinese parade type. Where
Look at the tank.
Look at the missiles. Look at how big my dick is. It's represented here in this particular.
Never been harder than right now.
Yeah, it's going to be that. It's going to be that. And I think it's just a stain on our fucking country when it happens.
But yeah, so what I mean by in America, we really, really like our myths. We like to mythologize our founding fathers when in reality, the oldest of them, aside from Ben Franklin, who was actually old, was George Washington, who was 44.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of them were basically just a bunch of pimply teenagers that didn't
From
like the government.
18, 19 years old on up, right?
Yeah, I mean, Hamilton, I think when he signed the document was 18 and Jefferson was
like 21.
either 17 or like 20.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, they were a bunch of pimply teenagers who really liked libertarian politics and real libertarian politics, not modern American libertarian politics, but that's beyond the point. But when it comes to Thanksgiving, the myth that we're all fed, the line of bullshit is always like, oh, the Pilgrims, they came over on the Mayflower and they were doing just fine and they were leaving everyone alone and this and that. And then
none of it's true.
Out of the kindness of their hearts as an olive branch to these alien invaders, the Native Americans brought them turkeys and yams and gravy and all of that.
But here's the funny thing about that. The actual reason why they had made peace, that tribe had made peace, is because they had lost so much of their tribe due to disease and everything else. They realized that they needed...
Not to mention the slaughter.
Well, yeah, but that was part of the deal.
Were doing. They were slavers and not... They had no qualms about killing people.
But what the Native Americans did that was really interesting is they when they kind of caught on to what the fuck the game was, they said, all right, tell you what, we know you're not going anywhere. We can let you die, but we'll probably die out before you die out because you have, obviously they recognized that they weren't getting smallpox and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't dying of weird flus and all that shit. So they said, all right, we're going to teach you how, and this is where I think they might have made a mistake, but I'm not quite sure. I think that it would have been better for them to just say, you know what, fuck off. And they just go out into the woods for a while. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, just fuck off. And they go out into the woods for a while and just wait. Because I think that it would have been a circumstance where all the early arrivals would have died off. And I do believe
they were in the middle of a famine.
Yeah, so, but beyond that, what they did was they said, we're going to teach you how to hunt, and we're going to teach you how to farm the land, right? So you can survive, and you're going to give us your weapons. And that's what they
so
did.
we can kill the other tribe that we don't like.
Exactly.
Yes.
And they were going to go and kill the other tribe that they don't like, and they were going to take that particular land.
Check me out, bitch. I got a musket.
Hold on. Give me about 10 minutes and I'm going to shoot your ass. But, I mean, that's saying something.
Also,
That's saying something. I mean,
hold on.
even if you're talking the English longbow in comparison to what the bows were that the Indians were using, the longbow, I'm sure, in and of itself was something that was very, very much.
Well, not necessarily, because Native Americans, that's where we get recurve bows, and recurve bows pack a lot more power into a lot less draw strength because of the recurve.
That's true. Yeah, no, you're
And
right.
they could shoot from horseback.
Not all of them. Not all of them. There was a few, they weren't as talented. They weren't as coordinated. They were the last ones to get picked for hunting expeditions. No one would play dodgeball with them.
Dodge Rock.
Dodge Rock.
Dodge Rock. You ever hear the story of I think it was the Michigami Indians?
Dodge Rock. Go on, I'm listening.
And how they sacked Fort Michilimackinac
Mm-hmm.
on Mackinac Island. Did you ever hear that story?
I'm sure I did because those stories were drilled into us, but I'm not recalling it.
The natives organized. They were the originators of field hockey, and so they would have sticks knocking around leather balls, and so they started a scrimmage outside of the fort, and the soldiers were like, this is pretty cool.
That looks fun.
Hey, it's sports.
Yeah.
And so they were just watching.
Me lord, don't let me play sports.
Oh, shit.
And they kept knocking the ball over to where the soldiers were, and they would playfully throw it back, and natives would play some more until the natives attacked. They used it as a means to keep getting closer and closer to the fort.
Yeah, it's pretty smart.
And case in point, if I'm not mistaken, that was a French fort.
Yes, actually.
So,
Yeah.
again, fake country, fake language.
Fake fort. All right, getting back to the pie issue, because we kind of got off the pie issue, and it's important.
Yes,
fucking.
yeah.
This
Yes,
is
please
important to me.
inform us of the
Okay.
National Pie Institute.
So, the reason why I disagree with them is
No, you get out of here.
there was actually a town that once postponed Thanksgiving because of pumpkin pie. Let's see. In 1705, the townspeople of Colchester, Connecticut, were so dedicated to the dessert that they elected to postpone the holiday because foul weather had interfered with their molasses shipment. Without molasses, they couldn't make pumpkin pie. And without pumpkin pie, Thanksgiving just wouldn't be the same. I agree with that 100%.
I can second that.
I agree with that 100%. Now, I got to find this one. But I believe the largest pumpkin pie that has ever been made was let's see here. I think it was 3,699 pounds.
Oh, you can polish that off on Thanksgiving, man.
That's a fucking...
Just give
Let's
you
see.
a can of Cool Whip.
Yeah, one can.
Red Whip.
Ready Whip. Yeah, you got to go Ready Whip.
You got one can. Make it count.
It sounds like an Eminem song. You got one can.
Make it count.
Now, I got something to put everyone off a little bit. So recently, something was brought to my attention. So one of the houses that I went to for Thanksgiving was serving a butterball turkey, and it took everything for me not to just blurt this out at Thanksgiving dinner and ruin the night for everyone. So apparently, video surfaced of employees at Butterball fucking the turkeys.
Well, naturally.
Yeah. So long story short, there's a
Macking.
there's a
Sound it make what?
If you ate a Butterball turkey this Thanksgiving, there is a non-zero chance that some dude nutted in that.
Just basting it.
No shit.
And that's aside from the just
The
general
stuffing
abuse
tastes
of
different
those
this
turkeys.
year, Grandma. What'd you do?
It's salty.
Grandma. It would be more like grandpa.
Yeah. Oh man.
The cloaca. The
See,
birds
though,
have one hole for everything.
You know what though?
Gotta-
That show
home baked nutter ball.
Nutter ball. You know what though? That just shows that men, all right, because you don't find women doing that shit. It's men. It's always men that we're just fucking pigs. We do fucking gross.
Women just
Look,
shove their hands in.
the the fact of the matter
I'll
is
show you, egg
the fact
bound
of,
motherfucker.
That's right.
the fact of the matter though is that when it comes to that type of shit, you know, women get upset about men doing stupid shit like that, and they, you know, you're cheating. A man will fuck a knothole in a tree if he thinks he can get away with it. You know, I mean, like, we're just pigs, and
How does a woman turn on a man? She shows up.
yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's like when you're talking about getting to the point where you're ready to fuck a turkey, like, what goes through your head? Like, how does that? I work at Butterball, and I got a 15-minute break, and that turkey is looking mighty good. I mean, like, how do you get there? You know, like, what is the mental?
Break me off a piece of that turkey ass.
Hey, Frank, check it out. Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Oh shit! Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and that's aside from all of the actual like physical.
I've got it
abuse,
by
like,
the giblets.
the physical abuse of the turkeys at Butterball. There was a video that also surfaced with that where some dude was bragging about, this turkey was being a turkey and pecked my foot, so I kicked it in the head and its eye popped out.
yeah. Again, I mean, you
Like,
I've seen wrestling matches where that's happened.
look. The upside is that after Trump gets rid of all the illegal immigrants, that'll never happen again. The downside to that is we'll never be able to have turkey again because there's no way 46 million pounds of turkey or 46 million turkeys are ever going to get processed without illegal aliens coming to this country.
yeah.
So here's
26 million turkeys.
46, yeah. So each year, the average household has about 10 people for Thanksgiving dinner. That's the average, right? Each year, Americans collectively consume 3 billion calories from turkey alone. Okay, that's just turkey alone. Put that in perspective, right? It takes about 9.5 hours to cook a turkey. The amount of time it takes an average male to burn 4,500 calories, about 9.5 hours. So what that basically means is, for as long as it takes to cook it, it takes to burn it off. Now
That sounds about right.
Yeah, enjoy your second piece of pumpkin pie. So yeah, it was a religious holiday. The first recorded religious celebration of Thanksgiving took place 2 years after the first feast in 1621, and was the mark of the end of a 2-month drought. There was only like 5 women. Did you know that at the first Thanksgiving there was only like 5 women, and they're not sure if it was 4 or 5, but there was only a small amount of women, and it was like 22, 25 guys, something like that. And then they don't even know how many Native Americans. They have no idea. And I know my screen just froze. There we go. So these are the things that I find interesting, though, because we do these things that we think are just a way to go. I'm curious why there was only like 4 or 5 women. Aren't you? I mean, like, the obvious and easy joke, and it's totally chauvinistic and piggy, is to go, well, somebody had to clean up.
DEI hires.
Yeah, DEI hires.
I'm pretty sure the reality of it was women were not allowed or were not considered capable of operating like what they needed to for shipping over from England or the Netherlands or anything like that.
That very well may be true.
the few women that actually did make it on board were just the wives of like the sailors, right? Who are going to go over and set up this colony.
Well, four of the women were wives of the participants, the male participants. And the
and then
fifth one I'm not sure about.
As they start settling in and realize, oh shit, we're in a drought and I can't get this goddamn corn to grow because I don't know how to do it.
The fifth one was, I got to go to the powder room. Will you go with me?
Yeah. I don't go anywhere without my younger sister. She goes everywhere with me. Yeah, I can see that being one. All right, let's we're coming up on close to an hour, so let's get the rest of the news. I hope you guys don't mind that I wanted you guys to indulge me in this idea of tradition and just doing things because we've always done them. This is one that I want to talk about, and hopefully the three of us will be able to do this for a Christmas episode and do a deep dive into like some of the ridiculousness of the tradition that we don't even realize, whether that's a tree in the house or bulbs on the tree, whether that's the decorations, whether it's mistletoe. There's so many.
Is a magic mushroom.
Yeah. There's so many. Well, that's what the bulbs supposedly represent is the magic mushrooms. But that's something.
I thought it was always the presents, but
no,
neither here nor there.
I just think that would be a fun episode to do because I think that a lot of people don't understand why they do the things they do. They don't understand.
Bulbs represent the testicles of their enemies.
Run for the hills.
Great song.
So
for the bulbs.
That's where I'm interested in is because I really do. I'm hoping that in the course of these conversations when we talk about the holidays, obviously we spent almost an entire month talking about Halloween because you and I love that so much. But in the course of talking about some of these other holidays, I'm hoping that the excitement...
Just some of these other ones.
Fuck all these other ones. But I'm hoping that in the conversation, your enthusiasm, both of you have an enthusiasm for the holidays. I'm hoping some of that rubs off on me because I don't want to be the fucking Grinch. You know what I mean? But I am the fucking Grinch. I'm not interested in hearing, fucking Jingle Bells. Oh, and by the fucking way, Jingle Bells was meant to be a Thanksgiving song.
That's ridiculous.
It was written. The guy who wrote it wrote it to be a Thanksgiving song. Absolutely, 100% true. Let me see if I can find it. Where the fuck did it go?
There's not enough Thanksgiving songs.
What's that?
Well,
not enough Thanksgiving songs.
No,
America makes up for that by playing Christmas songs on Halloween. So
yeah, well, you're right about that.
There's that. No, I refuse to accept any Christmas anything until December 1st, and I will make fun of it until December 1st. Once it's December 1st, then you can have your fucking tree, then you can have your lights and your decorations. I don't want to see that shit on November 30th.
I'm going to write some Yule log carols about slaughtering Christians.
All right. I mean, if you're looking for an argument,
that's right. I just went there.
You're barking up the wrong tree. If you're looking for an argument, I think that would be great. What's the other thing?
Hang the stockings next to the Jesus.
Or hang Jesus.
Hold on, let me crucify my Christmas tree real quick.
Maybe just hang Jesus next to the stockings. What was it? I think it's the fucking bitch that wrote Mary Had a Little Lamb or some shit was the one that is actually called the godmother or the mother of Thanksgiving. Sorry, I can't find it right.
Did she go?
Talk about the world nothingest title.
Yeah, but she actually
like
petitioned Lincoln. I think it was, if I remember correctly here.
Famous, nobody knows who she is.
That is
She just wanted his log.
I can't find it, and it's not wanting to come up. All right. Anyways, let's finish out with a little bit of news.
Fired.
Let's finish out with a little bit more news here, and we'll stick a pin in it. What you got for me?
And now for something completely different. Scientists believe that by the 2030s, humans could live forever.
Early 2030s, late 2030s. I just need to know how much I can smoke and drink in between now and the 2030s.
Oh, you're just going to have to wait till the 2030s. Do whatever you can.
We won't know until they spring it on us.
Now,
That's right.
are they going? Does it give any more detail as far as like what they're talking about? Are we talking about total regeneration?
They're talking about LEV,
an
acronym for longevity escape velocity.
All right,
That just sounds fun.
I
What
like
do you
it.
want to do? Let's do some longevity escape velocity.
I just want to do LEV. Oh, it's the same thing. Let's do that.
It's apparently an de-aging process.
So it's reversing it.
Basically,
Oh,
what's
man.
his name?
Is it like
man.
a stem cell thing or?
Well, there was Ray Kurzweil talked about basically downloading your consciousness into computers in the 2040s. These scientists are talking about de-aging people.
I would do it.
I mean, let's roll back a couple of years on the Yule log, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, look. If you could take me back, yeah, like all right. So, what would your ideal age be? Now, Colton, you obviously this doesn't really affect you because you probably haven't hit your ideal age yet. But there's an age where you're done with school, you're done with all the bullshit that you have to do, and now it's just I've got to do hopefully what I'm passionate about, which is what I've been studying, and that's the career path I'm going down. But if not, oh fuck, I'm stuck doing a job.
I would say like 25 or 26. 25 or 26 because I will turn 25 a couple months before I'm done with my master's program, and then the next year after that I will be 26. That is typically how math works. So yeah, I would say once I'm out of school, I wouldn't want some like Freaky Friday shit where it's like, okay, now I have to go to school for the rest of my existence.
No. Yeah, I'm almost identical with you. I think 27 would be my first target, but if they couldn't roll me back that far, I would go like 33, 35. Those were really great ages, in my opinion. And if they couldn't roll me back that far, I would be fine with like 40 to 44. You know what I mean? Like those are also really great. Those were great times for me. Those were good ages. How about you? Kiefer?
Oh, I'm going to go with the 18, 19, 20-year-old. Why not?
Young, dumb, and full of cum.
That's right.
But you can't get Ardbeg.
Yeah, you can't get Ardbeg at that point. I mean, but if he had a full beard, like that. He was buying when he was in sixth grade.
30 at 14.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, I was in high school, and other students thought I was the baseball coach.
What was the? That's a true story. What
I made
was
them
the
do laps
youngest?
for an hour,
And then the coach came and laughed about it.
and let them keep doing laps because he thought it was damn funny.
What was the youngest you bought on your own, Keith?
On my own, probably 15, 16.
Yeah, I was still getting carded when I was 34. I'm not joking.
Well, I have to put an asterisk on that because I was playing bars at 16.
I started doing stand-up at 15.
They were handing us alcohol. We would at
Yeah, they wouldn't do that.
no longer
for me.
around, but the Ritz, we would have a trash can full of ice and beer sitting in our dressing room. We didn't pay for it. They were just giving it to us. So it was
Yeah,
okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
It's my arm.
they figured that was cheaper than actually paying you.
Oh no, we got paid too.
How much more would you got paid without the trash can full of beer, though?
At every bar we were at, we had a specific drink. Play some Hamtramck paychecks there. Ironically, it wasn't anything Polish. It was tequila. It had the IROC in Detroit. It was Zima's. We don't know why.
No, I don't know why either. That was just what they gave you.
Something different.
That's just what they gave you.
No, that was just our drink of choice. Every place had some.
Why would Zima ever be a drink of choice?
I do not care who knows. I loved Zima. It was fun.
Was that like White Claw before White Claw?
Yeah, yes, it is. It's
like
exactly like that.
No, it was a malt beverage. They brought it out a couple of years ago again, which I did go out and buy it.
What the fuck
But
is the matter
kind of
with
like
you?
Did
an
it die again?
alcoholic Sprite. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, they brought it out for like 6 months.
I think you're right. That's actually the best description I've ever heard of Zima. It's an alcoholic Sprite. It's almost like a Sprite vodka.
But if you have non-alcoholic Sprite and vodka,
Oh, that's gross.
all right, if you say so.
I'm the anti-vodka guy.
You know, it's actually pretty good. Instead of like a Jameson and ginger ale,
Mhm.
Jameson or any other whiskey in Sprite.
I've never tried that, but I do the ginger ale and gin, or
Okay.
squirt and gin.
Squirt and gin is awesome. Gin and squirt is awesome. That's
I'm
a fucking
big gin
–
fanatic.
yeah, that's a fucking drink right there. A gin,
You know
and
what,
it's
actually,
refreshing.
You know what I made at one point when I was working at Olive Garden? You could, take drinks or whatever from the fountain and just bring it home at the end of the shift. Ashley had asked me to bring home Shirley Temple. She really wanted one.
Mhm.
So I made one, grenadine Sprite. And I get home and I'm like looking, I'm like, I got a bunch of cheap gin that we're not drinking. Let's try that. Apparently, really fucking good. Dirty Shirley with gin instead of vodka.
Shirley.
Dirty Shirley. It
Hey,
sounds like a
when I was a
prostitute.
kid, I used to piss Dad off so much because we would go out and I would get Shirley Temples and I would drink them like a fucking alcoholic. I would pound 4 or 5 Shirley Temples and finally, Dad would be like, "All right, fucking enough. These are like $4 a
You're
piece."
cut off.
Yeah, and they were like $3-4 a piece. He's like, "No, enough. Have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up."
at the Ritz in Roseville, I would get what was called the Pit Bull on crack, and it was 100 proof peppermint schnapps,
Ooh.
Hot Damn 101, Jägermeister, and Goldschlager 101, I think it was, or 100, something like that.
That
And
sounds like a just radioactive combination.
It's up there with Three Wise Men.
They give you a cup of it. There was a 4 limit. You couldn't have more than 4. They wouldn't serve you more than 4.
I
Of this
wonder
specific drink?
why.
Of this specific drink.
I wonder why.
One particular night, it was a Thursday night. I was in high school. I had 9
Oh, Jesus Christ.
because I kept sending other people up. And I was drinking beer. And,
You did not wake up for school the next day, did you?
Oh, no, I did. My drummer drove me home. And I remember falling out of his minivan onto the front lawn. And I laid there for about 45 minutes. And then I got
Sounds
into
about
the
right.
house, flopped on the bed. I don't know how long I was there, but I had to get up for school. And I did piss all nothing the rest of the day. I wasn't hungover. I was still drunk.
Oh, God, yeah. That's
And-
that's sometimes worse when you wake
I
up drunk.
don't get hangovers.
Yeah, I
Not
don't either. I really don't either. I've only had maybe 2 hangovers in my entire life, maybe 3.
Worst I'll get is like a headache and some dads.
Yeah.
Dads.
Day after drinking shits.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get hangovers. And
You got to release the demons, and then that's it. You're good.
Yeah,
there,
no, see,
there
like,
was a party where I was told that I had between 84 and 87 beers.
Holy shit.
And I fell asleep it was a drinking contest with a friend's father who wanted to teach me a lesson. No.
He learned.
No.
See, that's the thing is
I
like,
tucked him in and
Gingerly
next
kissed
morning.
him on the forehead.
I tucked
came
him
a little
in,
handy.
and he kept saying if it was whiskey, he would have taken me. And I was like,
No.
you would have died. You would have died.
I went through that.
And I slept for about 2 hours, woke up and made breakfast for everybody.
I went through a similar situation, and I think I've told you this story, Keith. And it was high school. It was my junior year, and I was known for two things. Obviously, we grew up with our last name. Everyone wants you to drink beer. So we could put away a lot of beer. I mean, that was a fact. We would just put away a lot of beer.
Do you remember 4th of July's? We could get beer from mom and dad, but it had to have an egg in it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I put away.
Egg in it.
Yeah. The idea was Grandma grew up in a time where.
Scrambled or raw?
Raw.
Oh, boy.
So she was anemic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because she was anemic, our grandfather would make her drink a little bit of beer with a raw egg in it to get her protein levels up, right? And get her vitamin levels up, or whatever the fuck he thought he was doing. I think he was just getting her hammered as a kid and making her sick with an egg. So it was a weird expression that she had was, what do you want, some egg in your beer?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What do you want, egg in your beer? Like it was a good thing. Like it was, oh, aren't we fancy? I don't think she necessarily understood that wasn't a good thing. I like to her that
fond of it.
So she told us, because me and Kiefer, we were always trying to get a beer, even.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this
Wherever you can.
Oh, this little motherfucker, he'd be 5 and sneaking around from behind the chair and grabbing a beer can and then drinking it, like guzzling it, and then put it back real gently. And then Grandpa would go, I thought I had just gotten a beer. And this little son of a bitch was sitting passed out behind the fucking recliner.
Walking to the bathroom near the kitchen, shit-faced, probably 7 years old. And I walked into the wall between the bathroom and the kitchen. Bunk.
So
and
anyway,
I remember Dad laughing about it.
No, I don't doubt that either. So again,
I'm sure he thought that would teach me a lesson.
Grandma, who is the namesake of the podcast, Elsie, she would always say this to us. But specifically on certain holidays, 4th of July was one, Christmas was one.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember if it was Christmas or New Year's.
New Year's
if they were home.
If they were home, it was New Year's, but it was definitely Christmas and 4th of July. Those were the two times where they kind of would, go, all right, if you want a little bit of beer, you can have it. But in the beginning,
but you two are splitting one.
Yeah, no.
No,
they would give us our own.
No.
But you had to have it with egg in it. You had to have a raw egg in it. So and the only way to do it is to just guzzle it, which is even dumber because when you got a
raw egg and a full beer.
Yeah. So, a 5-year-old and a 10-year-old with a fucking full 12-ounce beer with egg in it. And we know that the only way that you're getting it down, because she would tell us, she's like, as a kid, I learned that you just have to chug it. Right. So, all right. So now you're going to fucking
gather around, everybody. Let's chug.
You're going to make a fucking 8-year-old, fucking 12-year-old fucking chug beer.
Nothing says 4th of July like a drunk 5-year-old playing with lawn darts.
Yeah. That's a lot of fact right there.
Hit Jeff.
Yeah. He was 5.
Oh,
he was 5. I was 10. In the beginning, I don't think you were able to get down the egg. I think it took you.
Know.
I think it took you a while before you were able to get down the egg. Mom started me doing that when I was probably 8, and it started with me and Jeff, our cousin. It started with the two of us, and obviously, as you know, he's got issues. The audience, we've spoken about our cousin before, knows that he has issues. Nothing funnier than watching him try to chug a full beer with
an
egg in it. Yeah. He never could do it. He would always get sick. He would spit it out, everything, right? Your Uncle Kiefer, on the other hand, he was determined. Like, he would get mad that he couldn't get it all down, right? I remember for me, the first 2 or 3 times I tried, I couldn't do it. And then...
It's the egg.
Oh, I couldn't do it. And that was the whole point. Yeah, that was the whole point. Because you would pour the beer and then you would put the egg in it. So you always had that little snotty aspect up top, right? And she knew
Okay.
that. She knew that. So it was a way of her giving in. All it cost her was a beer or two. And she knew that we weren't going to be able to do it, or she thought we wouldn't be able to do it at least. And she was right for the first couple of 2-3 times. We could not do it. But at some point, and I don't remember if you did it first or if I did it first, but I remembered the other,
You just chug it.
one of the two of us figured out chug it. And I think actually, I think it might have been you that figured it out. I think you were the one that got the first one down. And I think that was right around 7. I think you were about 7.
Gold star for Kiefer.
Yeah.
The idea is that if it goes in the egg, chug it really quickly, like immediately.
Like
Because
as soon
the
as the
egg-
egg is in there.
Yeah, as soon as the egg goes in, you start drinking because it will still float. And it'll be lighter than the beer, or heavier rather than the beer, and go to the back. So you can get more beer per egg ratio. That's
He figured it out early. And then I got pissed because I couldn't do it. And I was the older brother. And I remember I didn't even want to do it, to be perfectly honest with you, because I thought it was ridiculous.
I
But
would drink
a lot of times he drank mine. Yeah, that's not a joke, because after I had figured it out, he figured it out, and then I did it a couple of times, I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. Go ahead, crack a couple eggs into those beers. Keith, you knock yourself out. And while you're doing that and they're fucking laughing at you getting it down, I'm going to be over in the fridge cracking a fresh brew. Or in the cabinet, the little liquor cabinet that they had that was an end table. And I would be taking sips out of the vodka. So to your point about ridiculous levels of drinking, this is just, again, it sounds bad because it sounds like we were in the, wild west of parents. This was only during those particular holidays, but what it did was it gave both of us a higher level of tolerance than any of our peers, right?
Yeah.
So, like me and Keith, we were sneaking cap
Why
full.
didn't you set me up with a party trick? What the hell?
What? Why didn't I?
Why didn't you set me up with a party trick? What the hell?
Sorry, son. But by the time we had gotten
Little brain damage, I can deal with it.
by the time we had gotten to the point where, like, in high school drinking was happening, we had such high tolerances just naturally because of that, and like when we would go camping or whatever, we'd be able to get they weren't really big drinkers. That was the funny thing.
You complain about that, but out of the three of us, who has the degrees?
Hey, all I'm saying is it would have been cool if you were like, hey, thumb punch this can for me.
Yeah, but on the other hand, you're going to get a master's degree and I don't have one, and neither does your uncle.
Yeah.
So, it balances out. You can damage.
I just got my tolerance a different route.
Yeah, you can. I waited until you were 21 and then I started you on whiskey. Yes or no?
Incorrect.
Well, yes, I know. I gave in
Incorrect.
on beer early on. I gave in to beer on what, about 16?
Yeah, I think first beer was probably 16, because the store had the build your own 6-pack,
Yes.
and you said, okay, you pick 2, I'll pick 2, and then we're both getting a Guinness,
Right.
because you were like,
well, my rule was
sink or swim.
well, my rule always was I didn't care what it was so long as you did it with me first. You know what I mean? As far as like alcohol or, pot or any of that, I was very, very
Whiskey, I feel like I had to have been probably 17 or 18, because we were still at the condo and I was still living at home. It was before I went to college.
Anyways, the point being, we, meaning me and your uncle, we had a ridiculous level of tolerance built up. And I'll never forget, like, growing up and going through the drinking stages of high school, specifically this one event where I had already drank a number of people under the table multiple times over the course of history.
This is after the, guys, I stole 1 beer for 7 of us to split.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So
What are the 60 you going to be drinking?
yeah, so it was funny because this girl comes into a party that I'm at, and I've already polished off a number of beers and whatnot, and I've got like my little 6-pack to go, and I'm about ready.
I know this story.
And I'm about ready to leave, and she comes dancing in with a bottle of vodka, and she wants to, who's gonna drink vodka with me? And everyone's like, well, there's only one person, and they are like the party stopped.
The one to rule them all.
Yeah, and the party
All
stops,
the
and
heads turn.
so I wanted to be done quickly with it. So I go, all right, I tell you what, we're gonna do doubles, right? So every shot was a double shot, and it got to the point where I like kind of felt bad. So I was doing 2 shots to her 1. And these were, shot and a half to 2 shot level. And we I don't even know how many we did. And then I think right around enough to where she went and puked pretty quickly. And she thought she was a hardcore drinker, and she didn't last. I don't think that lasted 10 minutes. Honestly, I don't think it lasted 10, 15 minutes.
Didn't you take the bottle with you?
Probably. I'm pretty sure I did. Like,
so not only the injury, but also the insult.
Well, I knew she wasn't going to drink it. Yeah. She was too busy puking. So and it was just
Wasn't
sitting there.
There a story of a friend of yours who wanted to drink vodka with you, and you decided, I'm going to switch out my vodka for water? Teach him a lesson.
Yeah, I did that too. Yeah,
I have a story about that. But
I used
go
to
ahead.
do that. Well, I used to. So like on the road, I never because I was alone, right? So I would get involved in these, with comics or with club owners or whatever, and they'd want to sit and drink. And, I'll have 1 or 2 with you, but I've got to drive back to the hotel. I've got to drive, you know what I mean? Like, I got to be responsible for myself. I got to wake up for radio. I got to, any number of these things, right? And so I got in the habit.
I remember the Green Bay. Do you remember me going with you to Green Bay?
I do remember you going with me to Green Bay. I got pretty fucking lit. But
oh yeah.
But that was what we did, like 40 beers a piece, didn't we?
It was a stupid amount.
It was ridiculous.
Stupid amount. We only had to walk across the street to the hotel.
Well, yeah, I know. We only had to walk across the street to the hotel.
Honestly, it sounds like Dublin. Sounds like Dublin.
Your dad got up in the middle because we had 2 different beds. And
pissed in the corner.
He got up. Yeah, he got up and was like, I can't find the bucket. And he just started peeing in the corner.
I fucking hated that hotel.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh, good times, great oldies. And with that, I think that if we're going to leave on an embarrassing note of my ridiculous behavior, I think that's a good spot to stick a pin in it. And with that...
So listen up, people. You drink too much, go pee in a corner.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. All you got to do. And with that, that's another Elsie's little
dominance.
Pickles.
I'm marking this space.
I think you were in the bathroom. That's why I did it.
No, I was on the bed.